What if the keys to bending reality itself aren't hidden in quantum labs or secret government vaults, but encoded in an ancient text shrouded in mystery? The Kybalion claims to reveal 7 mighty laws, principles so foundational that they govern every atom, thought, and fate. Yet almost no one is prepared for the radical implications these laws carry. From the moment you grasp the Kybalion's opening assertion, "The all is mind, the universe is mental," you encounter a paradigm shift. Reality is not a fixed stage, but a fluid projection of consciousness. To ordinary observers, the world appears solid and immutable, but to the initiate of Hermetic wisdom, that solidity is an illusion, a hologram sculpted by unseen mental forces. At the heart of the Kybalion lie 7 core principles. The principle of mentalism. Everything that exists is a creation of the universal mind. Thoughts are not mere ephemera, they are the forges in which worlds are born. By mastering your own mind, you gain leverage over the fabric of existence itself. The principle of correspondence. As above, so below, as below, so above. The microcosm and macrocosm mirror each other in fractal harmony. A shift in your inner landscape will ripple outward into the cosmos, just as planetary alignments can leave imprints on your psyche. The principle of vibration. Nothing rests, everything moves, vibrates, and oscillates. From the slow pulse of a glacier to the frenetic quiver of light, vibration is the universal currency. By aligning your personal frequency with desired outcomes, you draw those outcomes like magnets in the field of potentiality. The principle of polarity. Every duality, hot and cold, light and dark, success and failure, is 2 extremes of the same thing. Mastery of polarity allows you to neutralize extremes, transmute fear into courage, and convert doubt into unwavering faith. The principle of rhythm. All things ebb and flow in cycles, seasons, economies, moods. By recognizing the phases of any cycle, you can ride its crest rather than be drowned in its trough. The adept knows when to act and when to yield, syncing with nature's heartbeat. The principle of cause and effect. Nothing happens by chance. Every action is a seed sown, destined to yield its harvest. By becoming the conscious cause of events, rather than a passive victim of circumstance, you assume authorship of your own story. The principle of gender. Masculine and feminine forces permeate all creation. Logic and intuition. Will and receptivity. True power arises from balancing these energies within yourself, fostering an inner synergy that manifests as creativity, compassion, and unshakable resolve. Why almost no one is ready. Most seekers study the Kybalion as they would a self-help manual, memorizing aphorisms without ever integrating them. Yet the moment you truly internalize mentalism, that every thought fractures into reality, you face an existential crossroads. Will you use this power to uplift or to manipulate? Will you face the responsibility of authorship or retreat into old beliefs that soothe the ego? The correspondence principle demands that you confront shadows in your life as reflections of hidden beliefs. Few dare to excavate their unconscious with the ruthlessness required. They prefer comforting justifications over painful self-examination. Vibration and polarity expose the futility of resisting one side of any duality. To master these is to embrace paradox, an unsettling dance with ambiguity that many avoid, craving the false security of black and white thinking. Rhythm and cause-effect challenge the illusion of control and entitlement. Accepting cycles and owning one's consequences strips away victimhood, demanding accountability few are willing to shoulder. And gender? Balancing inner masculine drive with feminine receptivity compels a radical rewrite of cultural norms and personal habits, an upheaval that most resist, preferring to perform one energy at the expense of the other. The path of the Hermetic adept. To move from theory to embodiment, the Hermetic adept undertakes disciplined practice, mind calibration, daily meditation to observe and steer thought patterns, symbolic journaling, mapping life events against Hermetic principles to decode the universe's hidden curriculum, energy alignment, breathwork and mantra to tune personal vibration to higher states, polarity transmutation, confronting fears directly, using the opposite action to dissolve extremes, rhythmic flow, designing life around natural cycles, sleep, work, rest to harness momentum, cause creation, setting intentional goals with precise visualization motivation, then tracking outcomes without attachment. Gender synthesis. Cultivating both assertive goals and receptive intuition through paired practices, strategic planning alongside creative improvisation. Each step is a profound psychological excavation, peeling away layers of conditioning to reveal the boundless mental plane beneath. Few persist long enough to glimpse the world's true contours. Those who do often emerge transformed, wielding reality as both sculptor and clay. The true power of the Kybalions' teachings only unfolds when its principles are applied deliberately and often uncomfortably to the finer details of everyday life. Having outlined the 7 laws and sketched a basic regimen for their practice, we now delve deeper into how each principle can be wielded to reshape your personal reality and why so few dare to walk this path. Case study: Mentalism in action. Consider the story of Elena, a marketing executive whose career plateaued despite every conventional effort, networking events, performance bonuses, and skill certifications. Frustrated, she turned to the principle of mentalism and began treating her mind as the true engine of success. Each morning, she spent 10 minutes visualizing a promotion as already achieved, feeling the confidence, hearing colleagues congratulate her, even noting the new title on her email signature. Within weeks, Elena reported subtle shifts. Her posture grew more assured, her presentations brimming with conviction, and decision-makers responding to her proposals with renewed interest. By rewriting her inner narrative, she effectively altered how the world around her responded. The mirror of correspondence. The maxim, "as above, so below," is more than poetic. It is a diagnostic tool. If your outer life is chaotic, examine your inner landscape for corresponding dissonance. Take ambition. If you find yourself constantly chasing bigger goals yet never completing projects, you may harbor an internal conflict, perhaps a fear of success or a secret belief that you are unworthy. By journaling these contradictions, mapping each recurring life scenario back to a hidden thought pattern, you gain the raw material for transformation. Only when the inner and outer align can you operate with coherence rather than irony. Fine-tuning your vibration. Vibration is not mysticism, but a practical reminder that your emotional state magnetizes experiences of equal frequency. When you dwell in anxiety or resentment, you resonate with more situations that trigger those very feelings. To retune your frequency, build small vibration hacks into daily routines. Sound baths. Spend 5 minutes listening to a single tone or chant, allowing your mind to release scattered thoughts. Movement meditations. Engage in Tai Chi, Qigong, or even mindful walking. Activities that synchronize body and breath, grounding you in a calmer oscillation. Artistic immersion. Paint, dance, or play music without judgment. Creative flow states raise your baseline vibration and invite unexpected synchronicities. Mastering polarity, the alchemy of opposites. Jung called the reconciliation of inner opposites the conjunctio, the sacred marriage that births the self. In practical terms, this means leaning into the tension between extremes rather than avoiding it. If you struggle with procrastination, an extreme of inertia, versus burnout, an extreme of overdrive, experiment with polarity transmutation. When inertia strikes, force yourself into brief, intense activity. Set a 5-minute timer and work. When burnout looms, deliberately embrace rest, even a 10-minute nap. Oscillating with intent teaches your system that you are the master of these forces, not their victim. Riding the rhythms of life. Every human endeavor unfolds in cycles, daily energy peaks, monthly moods, seasonal shifts, even decade-long cultural waves. The adept who ignores rhythm is like a sailor ignoring tides, destined to struggle against powerful currents. Track your own natural cycles. Note days of highest creativity, lowest focus, physical highs and lows. Align important tasks, presentations, creative brainstorming, strategic planning with your personal upcycle, and schedule rest or routine work during down cycles. Over time, this harmonization multiplies your efficiency and preserves your well-being. Crafting cause rather than chasing effect. Too many live in reaction, responding to crises, chasing opportunities, entangled in the fallout of others' decisions. The principle of cause and effect calls you to invert this dynamic. Become the conscious originator of events. Brainstorm 5 outcome-based goals. Redirecting your job, elevating a relationship, deepening a skill, and then reverse engineer the specific causes that would produce them. Schedule one causal action every day, a networking email, a hard conversation, a skill-building exercise. By taking these deliberate first steps, You shift from a life buffeted by circumstance to one you actively author, balancing the inner masculine and feminine. The Kybalion's final law, gender, urges us beyond cultural cliches to the dynamic interplay of will, masculine, and intuition, feminine, within every psyche. If you find yourself overly analytical, planning, strategizing, controlling, experiment with receptive practices, dream incubation, unstructured creative play, even passive nature observation. Conversely, if you drift in indecision or passive dreaming, counterbalance with decisive action. Set clear goals, make firm yes-no commitments, and cultivate a warrior-like focus on execution. The artful blend of these energies animates your projects with both vision and momentum. By immersing yourself in these deeper layers, case studies, tailored practices, and conscious rebalancing, you begin to perceive reality not as a given, but as a malleable tapestry woven from your own consciousness. This realization is both exhilarating and daunting. Who will you become once you accept that every thought molds the world? Who will you choose to be when the laws no longer feel like distant philosophy, but living, breathing currents you steer with intent? Building on the foundational practices of Hermetic mastery, the path forward demands both vigilance against hidden pitfalls and creative integration of these principles into the fabric of our daily lives. In this next phase of application, we explore 9 advanced challenges you may encounter, followed by strategies for weaving the Kybalion's laws into long-term growth, culminating in a synthesis that cements your role as conscious co-creator of reality. 1. The pitfall of mental overwhelm. Challenge. As you deepen mentalism practices, visualizations, affirmations, and mindfulness, you may encounter an avalanche of thoughts and images. Without proper grounding, this flood can lead to anxiety, analysis paralysis, or dissociation from practical tasks. Solution. Implement a 3-step anchoring routine. Each morning, spend 5 minutes visualizing your top 3 priorities for the day, then write them on a single index card. Carry that card as a tactile reminder. Finally, conclude each visualization session by touching a grounding object, such as a smooth stone, while taking 3 slow breaths. This simple ritual channels expansive mental energy into focused action. 2. The deception of false correspondences. Challenge. Not every outer setback mirrors an inner block. Beginners sometimes misattribute unrelated events to hidden beliefs, leading to erroneous self-corrections or unwarranted guilt. Solution. Adopt a multiple-lens review before journal entries. When an adverse event occurs, write 3 possible explanations. 1 inner, belief or emotion, 1 outer, circumstance beyond your control, and 1 relational, involving other people. Only after considering all 3 should you map it to a Hermetic principle. This practice prevents over-spiritualizing normal life ups and downs. 3. The trap of vibration. Asceticism. Challenge. In pursuit of ever higher vibrations, some practitioners reject anything low or negative, foods, media, relationships, creating a self-imposed exile from the full human experience. Solution. Embrace vibrational inclusion. Acknowledge that all emotional tones serve a purpose. Create a shadow playlist of songs that evoke sadness or anger, and listen with mindful curiosity. Afterward, journal what those emotions reveal about unmet needs or unresolved wounds. Integration, not suppression, leads to genuine equilibrium. 4. Polarity. Overcorrection challenge. Having learned to flip extremes, it is tempting to swing the pendulum too far, working tirelessly to conquer laziness, then collapsing into burnout when the break becomes too prolonged. Solution. Embed micro-polarity checks into your schedule. Every 2 hours, pause and rate yourself on a simple scale. 1. Stagnation to 10. Burnout. If you're below 4, initiate a 1-minute burst of intense activity, a few push-ups, a brisk walk. If you're above 8, schedule a 5-minute restorative pause, deep breathing, stretching. These brief calibrations maintain dynamic balance. 5. Rhythm. Misalignment with culture. Challenge. Your personal upcycle may conflict with external demands, team meetings, family obligations, market hours, leading to tension between natural flow and social expectations. Solution. Negotiate rhythm flex windows. Identify your peak creative hours and communicate them as focus blocks to colleagues or family. offer alternative slots for collaborative work. Where total flexibility is impossible, cluster routine tasks, email, filing into your down cycles, and save high-level creative thinking for alignment with your peak. This compromise honors both inner rhythm and external commitments. 6. Cause overreach and micromanagement challenge. Enthusiastic initiators can slip into controlling every detail of a plan, stifling organic growth and demotivating collaborators. Solution: practice delegated causation. For each major project, list 3 elements you must personally drive, primary causes, and 3 you can entrust to others or to emergent processes, secondary causes. Check in periodically on secondary causes, but resist the urge to intervene until a clear block arises. This cultivates trust in your team and in the universe's natural unfolding. 7. Gender polarity stagnation. Challenge: balancing masculine and feminine energies is not a one-time event, but an ongoing dance. You may find yourself stuck in one mode, perpetual planning or endless dreaming, without fluid interchange. Solution: institute polarity pairings. Once a week, engage in a paired exercise. First, a purely masculine task, goal-setting strategy session, immediately followed by a purely feminine one, free-form painting, open-ended group dialogue. Reflect on the transition. How easily did you shift gears? Where did resistance arise? This paired practice keeps both energies supple. 8. Ethical drift and power temptation. Challenge: as you gain proficiency in shaping outcomes, the allure of using Hermetic laws for personal gain at the expense of others can become tempting. Solution: anchor your practice in a personal ethics charter. Draft a concise statement of 7 guiding values, for example, compassion, integrity, reciprocity. Before any major application of Hermetic power, career negotiations, persuasion, creative influence, pause to review each value. If any action conflicts with your charter, choose a different approach. This moral compass ensures that your reality shaping serves collective uplift rather than selfish ends. 9. Community isolation challenge. True Hermetic mastery can feel solitary, cutting you off from conventional belief systems and everyday conversation. Solution: cultivate a Hermetic study circle. Gather a small group of curious peers, 2-4 people, who commit to monthly gatherings. Rotate the role of host, who presents a case study, a personal challenge mapped to one of the 7 principles. Together, explore interpretations and support each other's experiments. This circle provides both accountability and the rich cross-pollination of insight, integrating Hermetic mastery into lifelong growth. The preceding challenges and solutions form a scaffold for advanced practice. To weave Hermetic wisdom into a coherent life path, consider the following 4-phase framework. Initiation, months 1-3. Establish daily calibration rituals, mental anchoring, vibration hacks. Complete a personal ethics charter. Begin correspondence journaling with multiple lens reviews. Exploration, months 4-9. Rotate focus through each principle for 4-6 weeks, deep diving into specialized practices. For example, polarity pairings, rhythm flex windows. Journal weekly case studies reflecting successes and pitfalls. Launch your Hermetic study circle. Integration, months 10-18. Undertake a signature project that combines all 7 laws, a creative venture, community initiative, or entrepreneurial endeavor. Use delegated causation and ethical drift checks as core governance tools. Map project milestones against inner cycles to ensure rhythmic alignment. Transcendence, months 19+. Mentor newer practitioners, refining your understanding through teaching. Publish reflections, essays, videos that translate Hermetic insights into accessible language. Embrace living embodiment. Allow the 7 laws to inform every micro-decision from diet to discourse until they become indistinguishable from your very being. The final reckoning. Who will you become? As you stand at the edge of this massive undertaking, remember, the Kybalion's truths are not ornaments for philosophical conversation, but blueprints for radical self-transformation. To walk this path is to accept both the gift and the burden of cosmic authorship. You will face doubt, external resistance, and perhaps moments of ethical quandary. Yet with disciplined practice, you carve a life of coherence, creativity, and command. Few dare to commit so fully. Many will flirt with the teachings, then retreat to comfortable illusions. But dare you not be content with mere survival or superficial success. Dare to master the mind, attune to the cosmos, and harmonize opposites. Dare to orchestrate your destiny with the precision of a Hermetic adept.